I often wonder, to become a diamond, which part hurts the most? The pressure, the heat, or the cut? And then I also wonder, is there anyone out there who wouldn't want to shine bright like a diamond? But at the same time, I wonder, as a human, is there anyone out there who is not under pressure, feeling the heat, or getting cut? Because that's just the truth to life. That's the human experience. We all get that, regardless of who we are, where we are, what we have, and what we don't have. And so today I really want to focus on the idea that for every level, there's another devil. Pray for my enemies, because at minimum, we all got to feel the heat. We're all under pressure. We all got to get cut. So why not focus on ourselves in the process? Why not do the most absolutely positively selfish thing, which is to just focus on doing us all the time based on how we feel? Because the reality is, the alternative is that we're selfishly doing ourselves based on what other people think, have told us, and taught us, just because of how it looks to those other people. And I could sum it up like this. If I'm too busy doing what I think you need me to do, I can't do what I think I need to do. And so I'm busy doing your stuff. I'm not doing mine. So what are my priorities? They're not really my priorities. They're someone else's priorities. And I'm not really getting anything done for me. Think about that. Process it. Let it marinate and hit your soul. And consider the possibilities. And if I can be relatable and share somewhat of a story on who I am, what I am, and how I got to where I am, considering at least confidently to speak out here, traditionally what it will be described as is, I'm from the hood. And you probably couldn't tell by just looking at me. I'm not black or brown, but I'm sure you can tell by my sound, I'm not white. And that reality, that truth, came with a lot of up and down possibilities. The environment I was exposed to, the logic that to get out the hood, to do something different, and to expand my environment and be successful, I needed to do something that aligned with the traditional hood sense of things. And I'm just not that dude, wasn't going to be that dude, and didn't care to be that dude. And really, again, if you look at me, I didn't pass a lot of the criteria. And because of that, that made it awfully difficult to adapt to my environment and be in a situation where I could prosper, excel, and possibly even consider getting out. And I have a lot of the traditional stories that come with the negligence around an environment that tells you, and again, this is the 80s, the crack cocaine era, what it is and what is required to get out and to do something that's profitable for yourself, to expand yourself, to become something greater than what is obviously in front of you and pushed to you time and time again. I've seen what my immediate family has gone through as far as submitting to the pressure that comes with living and growing up in that environment, whether it's the selling of drugs or the using of drugs, whether it's being involved in gang-related activity or being the victim of gang-related activity. The idea that a lot of this pressure leads to depression, anxiety, fear, stress, and some difficult scenarios that people don't make it out of, choose to kind of quit on themselves, and how that propagates out and impacts the entirety of the family. And the reality that if I didn't do what society told me I should do, at least that what was available to me in my immediate future, in my environment, in my vision that I could see, that I wouldn't be successful and that I would need to quit because it's going to be awfully hard to get out and do something that didn't seem like it was possible to do, right? So it's nothing more than the pressure, the heat, and constantly getting cut. And if you're in some kind of environment, albeit a physical environment, the environment where you live, a relational environment, an environment where I talked about my enemies, I'll pray for them, where people are constantly telling you and promoting to you and getting in your mind about not being good enough, not being smart enough, fast enough, tall enough, wide enough, whatever it is. The idea that you can begin to really push out the noise, block the noise, and focus on yourself is the greatest possible thing you could do to uplift and reroute yourself to whatever new environment, success, or goal you seek. And if you could consider the possibilities that at minimum, the first thing, the idea that you can cast a spell on yourself by the way you speak to yourself. And that is the primary focus for any possibility of creating a new path, goal, and success matrix. That how I see this thing and how I speak this thing to myself is everything. And what is it about that goes on in your mind that you can't really come to rationalization around if you just put in some effort, if you just put in some work, if you just did not give up and did not quit, that anything you see is absolutely possible? Why wouldn't it be? And of course, a lot of times we get into the mindset of, I think I can, some Peter Pan type thing. But then somehow we can't, because we can't see how long it's going to take. And the truth to anything is, regardless of what you want to do, no time limits. There's no time limit to work, self-work, improvement. There's no time limit or end goal. There's just the reality that the cliche around 1% better every day. If you could make that your focus, your internal focus, your thought process on how you manage yourself, how you manage your mind, then you can see a goal for yourself and know that it's never going to be enough anyway. So I'll just keep going. I'll just keep doing. I am good enough. All those things they talk about as far as affirming yourself. Because here's the truth to if you think you can or think you can't. If you think you can't, then you don't think you can. And so either way, you're affirming something. And why affirm the negative to yourself? Why constantly go through the mental battle of, I'm never going to get there? The only way to pivot and the only way to redirect that energy and make that 180 and about face is to put in work. Because as soon as you put in the work, whatever journey you on, whether it's a weight loss journey or an intelligence journey, like you can never be smart enough. That never ends. Education. Whether it's a financial journey, there's no limit to money. They just keep printing it or updating it in computers. There's no limit. There's no limit to the possibilities. And the first thing you need to do that you should do that I did absolutely, whether it was when I was younger in the hood or growing my professional career 9 to 5, promotion after promotion after promotion, moving out of different environments, investment after investment after investment, being overweight, drinking too much, gaming too much, on the precipice of divorce, all those things, realizing, realigning, and coming back to a baseline fundamental of, I'm going to be selfish and do what I think I need to do for me and not have anybody else have any influence, because it's just not valuable. And the last thing I'll say about that is, as far as doing what I want to do for me, how I see it, how I think it, is the alternative could be said like this. If I'm following somebody else's plan, you might as well shove a hand up my ass and make me a puppet, because all that's coming out of my mouth is somebody else's vision, journey, and self-doubt. I'm not for that. I'm good. Miss me with it. I'd rather start that positive self-talk. So consider that as you want to do something different. You want to make a move. Start telling yourself that you can be different and work. The additional possibilities around that. Some of the difficulties we'll see around becoming a diamond, the pressure, the heat, and the cut, is that it does require eliminating possibly everything that's around you, or at least blocking out all the noise, whether it's from the immediacy of your significant other, because you might need to make a change that she or he is not quite ready for, or like me, I've told my wife a gazillion times, I'm going to make this change, I'm going to make this move, make this investment. And eventually I quit. Eventually I stop. And the point to that is, it's kind of hard for them to believe you after constant start, stop. So say nothing. Say nothing. Your mode should be on listen more to what's around you, because it's all influential. Consider who is around you and what they're saying to influence you. And then decide to start understanding that you may need to block out the noise. That your significant other is absolutely vital to your growth if you have one, assuming you have one or you're on the hunt for one. That is your best friend and should be your best friend. And working and nurturing that relationship is absolutely key. I always go back to my wife and I joke. If you think about 300, right before where Hobie was like, this is Sparta. Before he kicked him down that vast, never-ending well or tunnel to hell, he looked at his wife, waited for her to nod, and then boom, unleashed on dude, right? Anyway, so that is a lot of what you'll find if you're like me and want to make that pivot. You need some kind of sounding board to keep you rational and logical and motivated and consistent. It's your significant other, but chill on telling her or him everything. Just do it. Just start doing it. What you'll also find is a lot of that negativity, right? For every level, there's another devil. And when you make the pivot, the 180 to start doing something that you know you need to do, which involves a lot of work, the people around you won't be accustomed to that. They're going to look at you like, yo, Jeff, what are you doing? That you want to do 4 a.m. wake-ups? You want to do prayer and meditation? You want to do cardio? You want to start aligning with laws of attraction, the law of least effort, the mindset, consciousness, God, universe, whatever it is, that the people around you, whatever it is you're deciding to do, they can't see that, and they shouldn't see that. It's not their vision, it's your vision. So prepare to just listen, observe, process what's going on around you, and know that in your march towards coming out the pressure, the heat, and the cut as the most sparkly version of yourself, a lot of that might need to be cut off. And that's okay. That is the proper form of selfishness. That is the proper form of expansion. That is the proper form of growth. That actually there's addition by subtraction. And the more that you eliminate distractions, the more you can clearly see a path for yourself that involves nothing but what you see, which is success, success, success. It is the most simplest yet difficult thing you'll ever do for yourself. Coming to the realization that there's a positive end of the spectrum. There's an absolute target that you need to hit. There's an absolute better version and life you see for yourself that doesn't remove pressure, doesn't remove heat, doesn't remove the cut, but that you are in total, absolute control over. And if there's nothing else that comes out of your life, at least you could say you did it your way. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich.